You're listening to Your Purpose and Business podcast, where we connect you to possibilities. I'm your host, Raquel Walters, a two-time best-selling author, millennial speaker, corporate trainer, advocate, and clinical social worker at heart. Your Purpose and Business podcast will connect you with everyday successful people who will share their impactful stories, insights, challenges, failures, and triumphs on how they're navigating the working world, whether by climbing the 9-to-5 corporate ladder or starting, growing, and scaling their business. So grab your pen and notebook because you'll want to implement the nuggets and tools, strategies shared in every episode. Class is in session. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Purpose and Business podcast. My name is Raquel, and I am here with our guest today, Stephen Gentles. So Stephen Gentles has been in the field of informational technology for approximately 10 years. He has been helping organizations and entrepreneurs across various industries in growing and expanding their company by delivering on various IT projects and business strategies that seeks to create efficiency, resolve issues, improve collaboration, minimize their expenses, maximize their earnings, and generate new businesses through disruptive innovation. Stephen is also an adjunct faculty member at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, located in Jamaica, West Indies, providing lectures to students enrolled within the Information Technology program. Courses taught but not limited to are building applications using C#, Internet authoring tool, system analyst and design, and data structure and file management. Mr. Gentles, it's an honor to have you on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. Welcome.
Thank you, Raquel.
You're very welcome. So tell us, Stephen, I asked everybody that I interview on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. I mean, your bio obviously is rich, but tell us something that is not included in your bio. Tell us something about yourself, rather, that is not included in the bio.
All right, great. Great question. Actually, I would say I'm a fun person, right? I like to have fun. I like to socialize. A few of my friends actually call me socialite. It's not really about it's not about the limelight. So I don't want you to get it, confused.
Yes.
Love people, and I like interacting with people, trying to learn from people and to build relationships, so I'm that person.
Yes, absolutely. And people, I'm just gonna tell people here. So Stephen is like a brother to me. We went to the same high school in Jamaica, Clarendon, Jamaica, Glenmuir High. And so I've been knowing Stephen, or we've been knowing each other for, I don't know, Stephen, like close to 20 years or something.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, definitely, it's a long time.
It absolutely has been a long time, and it's been a journey watching him grow and flourish in his career and his life in general. So Stephen, tell us. I mean, you're on Your Purpose and Business podcast, and I know that you're a professor at one of the top universities in Jamaica, but also you are definitely the go-to guy for information technology. I mean, it didn't even dawn on me that, or I should say, I'm not even surprised that you went that route, because guys, I remember Stephen always working on computers, and I just knew that this would be a part of his destiny. So speak to that, please, Stephen.
Definitely. So, I would say information technology is something that I have a strong passion for. I remember I got my first computer when I was in grade 6 at primary school. I think it was either grade 5 or grade 6, right? Actually, I came home and I saw the computer there as a surprise. There was no one at home. I have never used a computer before. And would you believe me that I figured out how to turn the computer on?
Wow.
I can't forget, I went into Microsoft, into Paint, right? The computers typically come with the Paint program.
Yes.
And they're trying to draw a cartoon house. And Raquel, I mean, as funny as it might sound, I figured out how to do printing. But using Microsoft Paint, like if you don't connect the dots properly, you will find that colors would overflow, right? So when I was trying to add the green grass, the color overflowed on the entire page. So when I printed, the paper came out wet. right? And I remember I took it behind the house and actually burnt it because I didn't want my father to find out. So it was from that actual first interaction with a computer that I was just so excited. And I wasn't even surprised myself that that's the actual path that I took, you know?
Wow, wow. And so it's important that you even said that, Stephen, because here you are playing around with a computer, didn't even know how to use it, right? And messing around to the point that computer technology became a part of your career. So what a coincidence, if you would call it that. My question for you is, how does that play into what you believe your purpose is in the world today?
Well, that's a great question. So I think for me, it comes in two folds, right? I love to innovate. I love innovation. And so I'm not an artist. I can't draw the fancy stuff or maybe do the fancy graphic stuff, but actually I love to innovate. And, through my passion for computers, I actually ventured it down. I chose software engineering. So, there are different aspects of using of computers or information technology. So I chose software development. And, through my passion of computer, it allowed me to express, something that I enjoy doing, which is to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As I mentioned earlier, it's actually a twofold. It's actually a twofold response for me. And, for the second aspect is, I want to create a legacy. Now, legacy for me is simply by adding value to the life of others, right? Because, through my passion, I realize that I have learned a lot. And as such, that's the reason why I accepted the opportunity when it came to become a lecturer at the university. Because to be honest, actually, I was approached, for that position. And I said, all right, I was a bit scared at first. Something I've never done before, but after the first semester, I realized that it also enabled me to kind of live out my purpose, which is to kind of leave a legacy, to impact and to add value to the life of others.
No, that's amazing, Stephen, because, and I love that answer, because I always like to listen in and hear, what individual guests that I bring on, how they answer that question. And I think you nailed it, because I believe that you found your purpose. And I know that, purpose changes over time, but I think that at the core is teaching. And then at the core is a passion for technology. Am I right?
Definitely.
Right, and innovation, right? Yeah. And so for you, like, what was that significant moment, if you had one, or even if you could remember, that you said to yourself, or maybe it was a family member or a teacher probably, that said, you know what, Stephen, you're great at this. I think that you should move forward into, making technology become a part of your career?
Great question. Thanks for that. So, yeah. My neighbor back in Clarendon, he's actually a returning resident from the UK. He has a son who is also in IT. He's a great programmer. His name is Oral Beckford, right? And I remember he actually gave me my first programming book. I still have the book until this day. It's a book called Master in Visual Basic 6. And I remember I started to read the book, and I would go over his house. And when I made the first computer program, I was so, I was so excited, because the fact that you can take something from idea and you bring it into real life. I remember it was a simple Windows media player, something to play a media file. Yes. At that time, for my age, because by then I would have been in about, say, second form at Glenmuir. So I think I was well advanced over my peers as it relates to IT. Fast forward a few years later, when I got to fifth form and I was doing my IT SBA, from our teacher there was Mr. Knight, right? Yeah. Mr. Knight, yes, from the computer department. And when I got my SBA, I actually completed my SBA in 1 week. And, Mr. Knight said to me that, you're really good at this. This is something that, you should continue to practice on, because it will take you far. So I think that was a defining moment when I made up my mind, because at fifth form, looking to leave high school, looking to start university, at that point, you kind of want to choose your career path. So right. I think it was the support from my neighbor and friend Oral Beckford,
Hmm.
and the advice from Mr. Knight at Glenmuir that, kind of forced me, or helped to guide me in the path of IT as a career choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show how much teachers and mentors or even onlookers
Definitely.
are important in
Definitely.
shaping, who we become, right? And
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that, and I can hear it, that you're so grateful to those two individuals.
Undoubtedly. And to be honest, I can't leave out my dad.
Yes.
I am always playing games on the computer. And
Yes.
one day he walked into my room and he was, you're young, young boy, you have all the free time playing video games, car racing games, all those stuff. And I remember he looked at me one day and he's like, the time you're here wasting your life playing video games and you're so good at computer, you should learn to make them for yourself.
Right.
Right? And I've never forgot that, Raquel.
Wow. Amazing, Stephen. So like, tell us along your journey of, mastering or, mastering your craft, right? Learning the different parts of the computer, the softwares, and forgive me guys, I'm not tech savvy, so if I'm using the inappropriate words, forgive me.
That's why
I have friends like Stephen, right?
Yeah,
that I
man,
can
that's
call
fine.
on. But
Yeah.
but really the question I'm asking is along that journey of you figuring out, okay, this is what I wanted to do, this is the degree I wanted to pursue in university, were there any challenges, roadblocks, bumps along the way that you recall that was significant?
Definitely. I remember when I was in university. So I did my bachelor's in computer science, right?
Yeah.
Programming emphasis at the Northern Caribbean University in Mandeville. And so I can tell you, I am one of those persons that will say, oh, I hate maths. I hate math, right? But little did I know that to actually, achieve a degree in computer science, because there's a difference between information technology versus computer science. Computer science it goes more in depth. It's very strong on math and science. So when I got to NCU, I realized that I had about 7 different levels of math course to do.
Wow.
Including physics course. So that was really a challenge. I remember I can just be open and honest with you. I failed a math course twice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the lecturer there, Mr. Alzen Smith, he actually said to me, Stephen, you're a very smart guy, you need to buckle up and do what you need to do because you're good at this thing and you can't love one side of computer science and not the other side. So I remember I had to do courses like college algebra, pre-calculus 1, pre-calculus 2, calculus 1.
Oh my gosh.
Probability and statistics, right? Discrete math structures. I'm not sure if I said linear algebra. So there was a ton load of math course I had to do, along with some physics course. And that advice from Mr. Smith, I really thought about it. And I have never failed a math course since then.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that was really a challenging moment during university because I really hated math, right? I had to do the programming aspect of it. And I am not from a wealthy background. I am from parents who, they take pride in trying to ensure that, they offer the best that they can for their kids. So for me going through university, it was a lot of sacrifice, right? There were days when I was there at school and, I needed certain things and I didn't even bother to ask my parents for it. I just kind of, improvise stuff like buying books, right? I would reach out to friends to say, hey, do you have an e-copy of this book? To kind of save my parents some money.
Right.
So there was that challenge as well. But nonetheless, my parents did everything that they could to ensure that, I was successful and comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. You said a lot there, and I just wanted to dissect it a little bit because I think it's important for upcoming or aspiring persons who want to get into the information technology field, because as we know, in technology is running the world pretty much, right? I think I can say that it runs the world, right?
Yep.
And so change is constant. because you spoke a little bit about innovation, and I think I want to ask you a little bit about that for what you foresee for the future, to pick your brain a little bit. But I wanted you to just define the difference, or tell us the difference between, because I know you said information technology is different from computer science, and oftentimes I think we group it, including myself, and just say information technology. So if you could just break down the difference for us, please.
So they're basically the same thing. When I said difference, I'm actually more speaking from a curriculum standpoint.
Okay.
So for example, all the math courses that I outlined to you earlier, if you're in information technology, you're not really required to go that in depth, because for a computer science degree, you have to be doing stuff such as artificial intelligence, right? Yes. So for someone who's doing information technology, a degree in information technology, they may not go that far, right? They're doing the programming, they're doing the networking, they can build websites, software, mobile apps. So they're getting a degree that is functional in IT, right? But if it's a situation now where you want to go more in depth to now look at artificial intelligence, right? Decision support systems, those kind of more in-depth techy stuff. I don't really want to be throwing out too much jargons, right? Then computer science is actually the avenue that you want to take, if that's where you want to go. So you spoke about like where the technology is going now.
Right.
So we can clearly see that things are moving online.
Right.
It's not just about things going online, or, oh, I need a website, oh, I need a software to run my business. When you're innovating these technologies in this time, then, there are certain things that you have to consider. When you're designing that architecture, you want to ensure that there's some level of AI or intelligence built into the framework, right? So you kind of want your systems to be assisting you in making certain decisions, right? So for example, there is even certain level of predictive analysis that can be done through information technology. So let's say, for example, you're in a business, right, Raquel?
Right.
And you want to predict when a customer comes in. IT can do that for you. It's not 100% accurate, right? But if you have enough information, you can actually build like what is known as a trained AI model, right? And you can do some different tests on it. I really don't want to get too technical, and it tells you what's the percentage of accuracy that it has. So it can kind of guide you to give you some feedback to say, hey, all right, so I noticed this person typically comes to my establishment on Mondays between XYZ time. I have X amount of customers coming within this window, right? So I need to ensure that I have adequate staffing at this time. So these are some of the challenges, customer service. I believe in good customer service and being customer focused. So, I mean, I'm sure you have been to establishments where the service and the customer service was poor because they are possibly understaffed, right? And the reality is, information technology can assist you because, having collected the data over extended period of time, you're able to look at patterns and trends and to able to, drive better decisions, to ensure you have adequate staffing on the line, to improve your customer service. Because let's face it, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur these days. The competition is very high. So I believe that through good customer service, then you can kind of get some edge over your competitors.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Stephen, you just did right there. And I need to break it down a little bit because I'm a little, intellectual myself. So, okay. So it's kind of similar, and just tell me if I'm getting this right so that, the audience, the listeners can get it right?
Yes.
So say for instance, like if I have an Instagram account, Facebook account, social media is huge, right? It's kind of like analytics, it's insight.
Yes.
And then I would track to see how many people on a certain day, say Monday.
Exactly. When is the best time to post?
What's the best time to post? Exactly. Is the percentage, how many men or women are following a particular social media account, etc. So based on that data, I can use that to post, to go live, or things of that nature, right?
Exactly.
And so you're saying that we could use information technology in that sense to assist even a brick and mortar store. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Definitely. And when you think about a service like, say, Netflix, when you onto Netflix and it shows you recommended videos. That's true. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Right. When we talk about customer experience, I mean, like their architecture, they have, monitoring systems running in the background where if you're utilizing the app on your phone and it crashes or there's some issue, it creates like an intervention that they into to resolve the issue before you even reach out to them. And that's just great customer service,
Right.
so those are some of the benefits that, technology can actually bring to business to allow them to have a competitive edge.
I mean, I love it. Thank you for sharing that with the audience, because it also plays into, because I know this is one of your specialty that you work on every single day, guiding business as well, to grow and using technology as, a tool,
Yes.
So this is important information, and it doesn't matter if you're, an aspiring entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur already, but obviously, this information is valuable. So thank you so much for that, Stephen. Let's shift gears a little bit. I know that, you're the tech guy. I've always known Stephen to be the tech guy. And I'm just so proud of his accomplishments so far. But Stephen also have a big heart, guys. And Stephen, I remember Stephen always loving to play the piano, right? Stephen, I even have my high school graduation video. You remember that song?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Vitamin C, right? Yeah, that's
Vitamin C, right? I know that you have a love or a liking. I don't know if it's a love now for videography. You're great with playing the piano. I mean, you're multifaceted, like, a lot of people. And a lot of people, the question that I want to ask, a lot of people shy away from expressing their multi-passions or expressing, their interests. So I know you don't shy away from that. And somehow you merge everything together to live, your life to the best of your abilities. And I don't want to speak too much for you or put words in your mouth, but tell us the importance of really expressing yourselves and really being intentional about living out your multi-passions. If you consider yourself a multi-passionate individual.
Great. So actually the answer to that is yes, I do. Yeah. I think if it wasn't for information technology, then I would be doing something in music. So I believe in expressing yourself like that. Sometimes, Raquel, let's be honest, life can get a bit overwhelming, right? And I can tell you, I remember I bought a new keyboard, digital piano recently, about 2 years ago. I mean, to be honest, it wasn't cheap, right? I remember a person saying, "You're buying something for that." But let me tell you, there is nothing as relaxing. Sometimes, Raquel, I'll just be there and, you're thinking about life and you're trying to figure stuff out, get a little bit overwhelmed, and I'll get up and I go on my piano and I just start playing, right? Sometimes I might go live on Facebook or live on like IG, or I might post a video doing what I'm doing. So I do believe that, you have to strike a balance between work and play. And for me, what I realize is that music allows me to think creatively, because I don't play music by reading sheets or notes or anything like that. I play by ear. So to play by ear, in order for you to develop yourself and to continue to grow as a musician, you have to do something known as improvisation.
Right.
A lot of creative thinking. So for me, it's when I'm when I'm expressing myself on the piano or in any other musical instrument, because I play the drums or guitar as well, but my personal preference is really the piano. I realize that's my time to actually train my mind how to be thinking outside the box. Hey, I did this. It sounds good. How can I make it better? Once again, that's like innovation. Right? Yes. So I do believe that, each and everyone needs to find, that soft skill, something that you enjoy doing, and just to spend the time just to have that balance. I remember I read a book by Jim Rohn, I think it's Chris Widener, called it 12 Pillars of Success. I think that's a great book, and that it speaks to that success is not just built on one thing, achieving money. No, there are different pillars that actually makes up success, and that is actually one.
Right.
So you need to kind of find that creative way to express yourself. So sometimes you can just relax and de-stress.
Yeah, it's absolutely important. I mean, you know, the world is just going it's
Yeah,
just going. It is like
just
sometimes
going.
it feels like you're on a treadmill, right? And so we have
Definitely.
to find I call them little pockets of joy. And for you, that's playing the music. You know, I actually am a
Exactly.
musician, right? So Stephen, I know that exercising is important to you. You know, and you know, I see you on social media all the time. You have inspired me almost 3 years ago when I see you posting your lifting weights in the gym, working out, or you're running 5K, 10K miles. I mean, I'm not even there yet, but I will be. But you know, tell me, speak to the importance of, you know, exercising for you.
Great. Raquel, I believe in holistic health,
Mhm.
right? And that's the mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Um, as it relates to exercise, once again, it fits back into that book I told you about, the 12 Pillars of Success.
Yes.
For listeners, they can go and check out that book. I think it's a really great book. Um, I was having a conversation in the gym about 2 weeks ago with a guy that was there. And he's like, I admire how you work out, you're committed. And I realize that when you're here to work out, you don't goof around, you just get the job done and you leave.
Mm.
He's like, what kind of drives you to do that?
Right.
I remember I showed him a photo of my before and after. I guess that's probably one of the things you were speaking about. Because as embarrassing as it might sound, I mean, I was weighing over 300 pounds.
Mhm.
And I went down to like, I think it was 224. So
Awesome. Mhm.
that's a lot of weight loss. Now, what motivates me to exercise? You see, there are a lot of persons in life, they want to be successful.
Mhm.
Let's face it, Raquel, success is not guaranteed. All we have to do is to ensure that we are making the right choices. We know what we want, we're making the right choices, and we're consistent in our actions. And then hopefully, right?
Yeah.
So God, or if you don't believe in God, the universe, whatever you believe in, right, will bless you with that success that you're looking for. So to some extent, it's uncertain. Yes, there are some guides and steps that you must follow, but it's really and truly uncertain. Now,
Mhm.
in order to do that, you have to be very disciplined and consistent. Now, how does that translate to exercise, or how can exercise assist one in becoming successful or developing the traits and the characteristics that are required for being successful? Now, if you know you want to lose X amount of pound or you want to look a particular way, you know that if you're in a calorie deficit, right?
Right.
You're exercising, you're doing your resistance training, or you're doing your cardio training, it training, whatever you want to do,
Mhm.
you will.
Mhm.
It's 100% certain that you will achieve your goal.
Right.
So let's look at this now. For exercise, if you follow these steps, you will achieve the goals. For success, if you follow these steps, you might achieve the goals.
Right. Right.
Still, people can't find the discipline to exercise to achieve a goal that they are guaranteed to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
So
Great point.
if you cannot find the discipline to be consistent in exercising, where you are guaranteed that success, you're wasting your time trying to be successful in life. So for
Oh my gosh, he just dropped a bomb right there,
you're
guys.
wasting your time.
Oh, I think you
I
need to
don't
say
care
that
how much.
again, Stephen.
I say, if you cannot find the discipline to exercise, and once you exercise, you're in your calorie deficit, it's a guarantee that you will achieve your goal. If you can't find that discipline, then you're wasting your time trying to be successful in life, where you're following steps where the outcome is not guaranteed. Because imagine if you can't be consistent enough for something that you're certain that you will achieve, how can you then be consistent with something that it's a 50-50 chance? So for
Absolutely.
me, when I'm exercising, it's not just about getting fit, it's also about training my mind, right? Training myself how to be consistent, how to stick to the plan until the goal is achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So, yeah,
it absolutely makes sense. And it's really that simple. It's black or white,
definitely.
and I love how you framed it, because I think that it will resonate with a lot of people. I mean, success is not guaranteed, right?
Not guaranteed.
However, if you have a goal to either gain weight or lose weight, right? And you have the steps, you have a guideline, you have a plan, you definitely will lose the weight or gain the weight or
Yeah,
build a muscle, right? So
definitely.
it makes sense. It makes sense. And I think that exercising too, separate from obviously, like, your body image, whatever image you're looking after or going after, it's good for mental clarity, right?
Definitely.
It helps reduces stress. I mean, we can put the
Undoubtedly.
many benefits, right? But
Yes,
it
yes.
also trains you to be disciplined. And you spoke about discipline, the
It,
importance
it,
of discipline.
it is very difficult. My alarm is 4:30 every morning. That's when my day starts.
Mhm.
This morning, my alarm went off. I got up, I took my shower. The shower helps me to wake up. I didn't feel like I wanted to go out. But once again, because I've been doing it for such a long time, I've developed that level of discipline that
Right.
is required for me to execute. So this morning, it was really tough. There are times when I'm there on the route and I wanted to take a shortcut, because this morning I remember I think I did six miles, and I
Mhm.
take a shortcut and I'm like, no, stick
Stick
to
to it.
stick
Wow.
to the plan.
That's
Definitely.
that, that's amazing, Stephen. And so, how has exercising has helped you, in your life? I mean, it's a part of your lifestyle, I know, but has it translated to discipline in other areas of your life?
Definitely. Because I can tell you, I remember in December 2019, I did the Negril Reggae Marathon. I did the half marathon, so that was 13 miles. Raquel, to date, that is the most challenging thing I've ever done. I remember at one point I stopped and I give up, I can't bother. But I got through it. And the good thing about succeeding or winning, Raquel, we can use it as a reference point for times when we are faced with difficult situations. That regardless of what you're experiencing or what you're going through, I mean, life has a way of figuring itself out. So, the lessons learned from exercising have translated to all aspects of my life.
That's no, that's truly amazing, and so accurate right there. Life will work itself out eventually, right?
Definitely.
Um, Stephen, you've done a lot thus far. Throughout your short years already, you have many more years to come, right? And a question that is on my heart right now. I'm not sure why, but I see your future so brighter than what it is right now, and that's really truly coming from my heart. And I know that you can go further. You're doing a lot. I've been watching you over the years. I know you even when I don't say anything to you, but when I call on you, I'm serious. But I just wanted to say publicly, of course, like Stephen as a brother to me, definitely I am super proud of you, because I know the caliber of friendship that we have and the circle that we're around and the community, and we've really been coming from far, like meaning like probably close to what 20 plus years of
Yeah, it's a long time.
friendship,
It's
you
a
know
long time.
and so it's like we're a family, right? The GHS family. And I know that there's so much more in store for you. You're a professor now. I know that you're working, a top company there in Jamaica. And what's next for you on the horizon, if I may ask?
Raquel, I want to write a book.
Yes. Yeah.
It is something that, so I have my Google Docs where I have made notes. I think in total I've covered probably over 30 personal development books.
Wow.
Personal development is something that I'm big on. And like each time I read a book is like I'm enlightened somewhat, right? And then when I look at even others around me, I would want to share that level of enlightenment, Raquel.
Yeah.
Right? So that's actually what I want to do. So far I have probably over 20 pages of like jottings and notes of different stuff that I want to speak about. So that's actually something in the pipeline which I'm really looking to have accomplished.
I mean, I can't wait. I'll be the first one to endorse it because I don't know, and I don't want you to get mushy on here, and I don't want to be there, guys. If you're watching the video or listening, you know, on all different platforms, but when I tell you that this guy, he has such a huge heart, and he is so smart with his craft and what he does. I know that he's gonna be helping so many more people in the world, right? And so Stephen, I just want you to talk to, you know, the younger generation right now. You know, we're living in a fast-paced society. I mean, I know technology, social media has, you know, speed things up like 10x, probably 20x, right? And a lot of the younger generation believe like, okay, success needs to happen overnight. Like, you know, it's microwavable, so to speak, and they want the riches, the cars, the whatever, right? For, you know, a young person growing up and wanting to enter the technology field, I mean, what advice or recommendations you or steps even you would say to that person who's trying to find their way? They know, they identify that I want to be a part of this artificial intelligence, information technology world. That's my dream. How can I start, and what should I be looking out for on the journey to achieving this dream?
Well, you know, the first thing I would say is get off social media and invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Social media has created a major disruption in society. People look at social media, they see others living a life, which a lot of times it's fake.
Right.
People tend to put their best life there on social media.
Right.
You go out and you might take 30 photos, you take the best looking one. You know, everyone tries to appear to be, you know. So because of that, I think a lot of times it feeds into depression for some people because they're looking at social media and they're saying, oh, their life should have been that, you know, or it kind of messes up their priority, what they should focus on. And I can tell you, I use social media, yes, but I use social media to connect. I am on social media looking at posts, oh my God, I love this. Yes, there are times I might see a beautiful beach picture somewhere or Borough and I want to go there, I add it to my bucket list, that's fine. But in terms of trying to look at celebrities and saying, I kind of want that life, right? You know, don't focus on that. Invest in yourself. For information technology, and not just information technology, but like seeing that I'm an IT professional, I can tell you it's an ever-changing field, right? And you have to put in your hours. If you want to become successful in IT, you have to put in your hours. You have to, and you want to kind of ensure that you put yourself in a specific circle, like-minded persons who want to kind of achieve the same thing and they have that same passion that you have. Because I tell you, information technology is changing rapidly. And if you don't keep up with it, you'll be left behind. So I would say get off social media and try to invest in yourself. And not just invest in yourself from a technical standpoint, but try to develop yourself personally as well. You know, if you're starting out in your journey, chances are you won't be a manager. You won't be going into a management role when you just start your career. So you want to read books like John C. Maxwell, 17 Indispensable Laws of Teamwork, right? You know, I think that's a great book that kind of teaches people like how to work together and, you know, how not to be selfish. I mean, I don't want to be doing a book summary on that, no, but I would say get off social media, try to develop yourself, not just from a technical standpoint, but also from a personal development standpoint, and surround yourself with persons who are on the same journey as yourself.
I think those were great recommendations or advice. And guys, just listen to Stephen. He has walked the path and he's still growing, but he knows a thing or two, you know. So get off social media, or if you're on it, just use it responsibly, right? And the biggest thing is investing in yourself.
In time, and find a passion. You know, just find a passion. Do something that you enjoy doing. You know, sometimes, I mean, you have to also exercise wisdom.
Right.
You might enjoy doing something and it can, you know, pay the, look at Usain Bolt, pay the bill. Usain Bolt loved cricket.
Yes.
But someone saw him running, after batting a ball. Someone saw him trying to make his run, and I was like, you'll be a great sprinter. And today, he's the greatest sprinter of all time. So yes, sometimes you have to know, all right, when it's time for me to possibly, kind of shift focus, but at the same time, ensure that you're doing something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great reference to you saying both. You have to make sure that it's a skill too. You're loving it, but you can also monetize it as well, because at the end of the day, money is also important as well, right? But Stephen, it's such a pleasure to have you on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. I've even learned more about you, and I know that the audience are in awe about what you do. And I just want to say, brother, like, continue to inspire, continue to grow. You're a well-rounded individual, and I know that the sky is the limit, and I can't wait, definitely to hear about your book, and definitely you're always invited back to share your book. I'll be happy to have you on to speak about your upcoming book. So pressure, but no pressure. That's how I do it. So I'm gonna keep them accountable, people. But Stephen, any parting words, any words of wisdom, maybe sharing something that keeps you, that you do or say that keeps you going every single day, keep you grounded?
Great. So, Raquel, sometimes the journey gets tough. I mean, I've had challenges. I remember in 2020, I had a major car accident, right? What I realized is that, your circle is very important, your network. And, seeing that we're on the Your Purpose live program, we have to really speak about purpose.
Right.
And, in life, I realized you have to find your purpose. I remember a few years ago, back in 2011, a friend of mine, Alvin Fowler, he actually introduced me he was the one who introduced me to personal development. So, I owe all this passion and interest I have in personal development to Alvin. And I remember the first book he gave me was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon spoke about definiteness of purpose. What is that one goal, that one goal that you have that is of most importance to you, right? And that your desire for that goal must be so intense that you're regardless of what you face, the challenges that you have, they are not deterrents. You get what I'm saying? So your circle, personal development, and I've learned so much from personal development, Raquel. I could go on and talk for hours about personal development, because I remember one of the recent books I read by Jordan, I think it's Peterson, called Map of Meaning. And like he said, that your purpose of life, as far as I can tell you, is to find a mood of being that is so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant.
Wow, that's deep.
Because if we look at our lives, if you say you want to examine your life over a week's period, you'll realize that there are times when you might be resentful. Why am I doing this? I hate this job. You get what I'm saying? There are other times when you might be bored, and there are times when you're engaged in the moment. But what I can tell you is a key indicator to know if you're on your purpose is that you will realize that when you're executing those tasks, you're not resentful and you're not bored. You can't wait to get up out of bed the next morning to work on your goals, right? So, and I've had to accept some hard truths or hard facts about life itself, because if I had to kick the person, Raquel, who is most responsible for some of my failures, I couldn't sit down for a month. I tell you, because personal development has allowed me from moving from having good intentions to becoming intentional. Because a lot of people have good intentions, but they're not intentional, right? And once again, once I realized and I figured those stuff out, I try to ensure that I surround myself with some of my closest group of friends or people who think like that. Because I say motivation is like a shower, it doesn't
Right.
last. That's why it's recommended daily.
Right.
Right? So I have friends who have said, let's face it, we know the Jamaican term, you rich and switch. No, but if every time I call you or we want to talk, it's about party or some idleness or girls or it's not really,
Right.
So I try to surround myself with people who have figured out life more than I have figured out life. I ask them for their advice. A lot of my friends are older than I am. So what you'll find is one of the main questions I like ask all of my friends who are older is, if you could live your life over again, or if you could speak back to yourself at 16 years old, what are some of the advice that you would give to yourself? Raquel. So thank you for the kind words.
Yes.
To be honest, I still see myself as growing. Because I believe that the only thing that is constant in life is change, and I believe in change. I believe in continuously growing. Not focusing on the past or what you might achieve. All right, oh, that was good, but you move on and you try to achieve the next. So it's a journey. I won't say it's an easy journey. It's a very difficult journey, but once again, because I have identified my purpose, I am not deterred by the challenges or the setbacks that I have faced, or the ones that are to come.
Yes. I love it, and everything you just said, it was so important, and I know that you've blessed so many people listening, to this podcast, and you're all about legacy building as well. So that will the story will tell itself, eventually, and continue to be a light in this world, and continue to help others along the way. So Stephen, Mr. Gentles, it's a pleasure and an honor again to have you on the Your Purpose and Business podcast, and just share with us if there is a contact information, maybe you're on LinkedIn, that if someone wanted to just reach out to you, seeking out probably your services, a mentorship or something, how can persons reach you?
Sure. So I actually have a website, and that's stevengentles.com. So persons can go there and they can contact me from there. I'm currently doing some redesigning work to the website because I kind of got tired of the old design and look. So it's currently under construction, but it should be completed within about a week or so.
Awesome.
It's a matter of changing the look and feel. But they can go to stevengentles.com and they can reach me from there.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, Stephen, thank you again. And for all the listeners, remember, be good to yourself, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
All right, bye, Raquel. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. If you've loved this episode, let's stay in touch. Head over to raquelwalters.com and subscribe to my email list so that I can send you updates on new episodes, exclusive motivational nuggets, and insider knowledge that's only shared when you join our community. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review, as I want to know your thoughts about every episode. Follow me on Instagram at Your Purpose and Business Podcast. And remember, your life is beautiful, and this is a part of your journey. So embrace it. Speak to you soon.